Happy Mobility Sunday. Today we are going to just do a lovely little flow, opening up some upper body, getting into some lower body stability. Definitely, if you want, set up near a wall in case you need some help stabilizing, or maybe even like a chair, just something that you can pop your hand on if you need a little extra TLC and balances. Also, always welcome to have like a pillow or a block, a prop that assists you if we're taking a seated posture or want to help bring the floor a little bit closer up to you. But without further ado, let's go ahead and make our way to the mat. We're going to find ourselves in the child's pose this morning, afternoon, or evening. Let's go toes together, knees wide, send the hips back. Right away, this could be a great place for a block, right? If you're feeling a little bit tight, you can put a block under the forehead or a pillow just to bring the floor up to you, because I'd really love for you to try to sink the hips down to the heels. Today, we're going to find a slightly more active child's pose. So reach the fingertips out. Sometimes we just sort of collapse here, but I want you to think of active hands tenting through the fingertips, shoulders down the back, and there's a lift in the elbows. So I'm pressing down through my fingers, dropping through my shoulders, and really anchoring my hips. And from here, we're going to take a couple big rounds of breath. Using the shape to go a little inwards, check in with how we're doing. Feeling the belly expand between the legs. Don't be shy. Let that belly hang nice and low. And then exhale, draw the belly button up and into the spine. Good. Closing those eyes and just doing a little bit of a check how we're doing here. Letting the elbows drop. If it feels okay, we're going to take the hands to prayer, walk the elbows in, and just tuck the thumbs behind the nape of the neck. As always, no pressure to find a shape. Just work with what's good in your body here. Tuning back into the breath. If we're in this new posture, maybe starting to feel a little bit of stretch in the armpits, into the lats, the chest, the triceps. Next, inhale, extend those fingers. And on the exhale, let's walk the hands over to the left. So right hand stacks on top of the left, anchoring down through that right hip, just getting into the side body stretch. Big breath in, feeling those right rib cages expand. Exhale, soften. Another big breath in, feeling that expansion along the right side rib cage, and soften down. And then inhale, stretch the fingertips, make it to the opposite side. So walking over to the right side of the mat, left hand stacks on top of right. Anchor down through those hips, beautiful. And again, this time, really anchoring that left hip down, feeling the expansion in the rib cage. Beautiful. Start to take the fingers back to center. Inhale, lift the hands and start to exhale, walk it into a tabletop, stacking knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders. Taking a second here to really grip through the floor, arrive in your tabletop. Belly button pulls in. Little hold, really finding that nice firm core. And then let's take some strong and slow cat-cow. So start to tip the tailbone up, space in the cheeks as we lower one vertebra at a time, shoulders rolling all the way back and down, lifting up, finding space in the heart. Exhale, scoop the tailbone under, moving from the top of the hips, one vertebra at a time, finishing just at the crown of the head where the head and spine connect. Inhale, cheeks spread as the hips lift, the ribs drop and expand, the shoulders open down our back. And exhale, round through. We're going to either stay here, or if it feels okay, we're going to practice a traveling cat-cow. So I'm going to start to shift my body forward as I find my cow pose. So I'm going to drop my belly, shift back my fingertips, and then I'm going to start with my hips, starting to scoop into my cat. And as I do, I'm going to press my body back almost to a child's pose in this cat shape. And then I'm going to start to arch through my back, lift my hips, shift my body forward as I find this traveling cow. And then scoop the tailbone around the spine as I shift back to my heels. Again, if this doesn't feel great, just take standard cat-cow. We'll go one more in this direction. Lifting the hips, opening the heart. And then scooping into that cat pose. Good. And let's come back to neutral. We're going to reverse it. So now we're going to shift forward, or excuse me, we're going to shift back. Find your cow pose as you send your butt to your hips. And then scoop the tailbone under. Start shifting into that cat pose as we bring our shoulders past the fingertips. Always leading with the hips here as we shift the shape. One more in each direction, finding that cow as we shift back. And finding that cat as we shift forward. Beautiful. Bring it to that neutral, little sway side to side. Getting into the outer rib cage, maybe a little bit of that hip. Nicely done. Bring the knees and toes together. Let's just find a little restorative child's pose again. Maybe a block under the forehead. Arms will go alongside the body. Taking a breath just to bring a little neutrality into that spine. Again, those can be kind of deep stretches here. So just letting things release. Remembering too, we never have to force our body into anything. So take what works, leave what doesn't. And back to your tabletop. We're going to take a thread the needle, but we're going to do it from child's pose. So let's take the knees a little bit wider. Again, toes together. I'm going to send my hips back, and I'm going to take my right arm underneath my body, finding my thread the needle from child's pose. Left arm can extend. It can go ahead and find a bind. It can just stay anchored. I'm really anchoring down through my right shoulder. Taking big full breaths in this shape, a little deeper, a little different than when we do it from tabletop. You can always find tabletop instead. And start to walk it back up. Nicely done. So walk the hands out, take a big breath. Exhale, send the hips back into child's pose. Left arm threads the needle as your hips drop down towards your heels. Again, always an option to keep a block or pillow under the head so you have a little bit, the floor comes a little closer to you. Still thinking just like in our initial setup of the hips, really reaching for those heels. Again, arm can go out. It can find a bind. Big breath in. And slowly start to unwind. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and bring our knees together, sit back just for a second, and let's take the hands together in a little fist and just do little circles. One small roll at a time. Trying to keep the hands nice and close to our body here in other direction. One wrist coming on top of the other. Beautiful. We'll find those little hang tens and just a little shake out. Nicely done. Just to give ourselves that little neutralizing through the wrists. Then back to that tabletop. A little bit of a hip opener here. So we're just going to take our knee up, out, and around. Nice active hands. We can always bring it down to the forearms if we need. Good. You can always lie down on your side, just like this. And then go ahead, other direction. Out, up, and in. Beautiful. We're going to pause with our heel in the air, scoop the tailbone, really pull the belly button into the butt, and just start to turn on through that hamstring. So we're going to extend the leg, and then we're going to kick it in. Extend the leg, and then we're going to kick that heel in. So we're really flexing through the hip, or excuse me, through the hamstring, turning a little heat on through that hamstring, keeping our pelvis nice and neutral. Right hip bone is pressing down towards the floor, so we're not opening through those hips. Good. Start to feel a little bit of heat here, and then point the toe. We're going to take the right toe across behind the left foot, and then we're going to open up at the hip and draw the right knee up to the right elbow. So rotate down, tap the toe behind the left leg, and then open up at the hip, little side body crunch here. Inhale out. You can always take a break if you need. Keep scooping through the front of the body here for 3, for 2. Nicely done. A little bit of heat in that core, maybe that working hip, and 1. Nicely done. Sit back, shake it out. Whoo-wee. Let's take a couple shoulder rolls here. So we take big rolls to the front for 3. Big rolls to the front for 2. And 1. And let's take it other direction in 1, for 2, and 3. Nicely done. One more little side here, going into the left side, finding that hip opener. So we're kicking that heel towards our butt, coming up, out, and around. Noticing as you do, if you have a tendency to want to make really big circles where it takes your whole pelvis for a ride, really think of pelvis staying nice and neutral and just moving within that range of motion, just getting into the hip. Other direction, out, up, and around. Good. Keep plugging hip bones together, thinking of that belly button lifting up and towards the spine here. Beautiful. One more and hold. Scoop that tailbone, really find that nice strong core. We extend the left leg and we kick the heel in. So we try to keep that heel, or excuse me, rather that knee fixed in space, flexing through the foot. A little bit of strength in that hamstring, a lot of strength in that glute, tons of strength in this core here. Noticing if we have a tendency to bend through one of the arms, stay nice and long through both sides. Nicely done. This is the last one. Then we point the foot. We take it to the opposite side, stretching across the right side of the body. Then we open up at the hip as we drive left knee to left elbow. Open back up, tap the outside of the right side of the mat, open up at the hip, tap the elbow. So a little bit of core, a lot of stability, and we're getting into that hip girdle as well here as we find that open posture. Good. Two more. Nicely done. Final one. And plant that hip down, or knee down rather. Walk the fingertips forward. Find a down dog or come to forward fold, whatever feels better here. Big breath in. First down dog of our day, just seeing how we feel. Again, if the wrists are kind of tired from that tabletop work, you can always make your way into that down dog, or rather that forward fold. We'll be meeting there in a moment. If we're in that down dog, let's lift the heels, eyes forward, tiptoe up to the top of the mat. Bring the feet hip width distance. Forward fold here, chin to chest, ragdoll, big bend in the legs. Maybe taking one elbow in each hand, just letting yourself sway. Beautiful. Releasing the arms, halfway lift, shift to the toe, shoulders down the back, belly button tight, exhale, release. Good. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweeping up here. Beautiful. Cactusing at the top. So think of squeezing the butt forward, elevating through the heart, elbows pulling down alongside the body. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, forward fold, hips back, little bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, root to rise, squeeze it up. Exhale, open up the heart, squeeze the butt. And this time, go ahead and bring the arms behind the back. Rack the ribcage, so we're pulling down towards the top of the pants. We're just finding the space through the chest. So palms together. If that doesn't feel okay, you can take a little bit of space. Just make sure you're not in the elbows. Taking a big breath in here. Good. Letting it go. Nicely done. We're a big breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, forward fold on that exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, start to lift through that right leg, stepping it back, coming into our low lunge. Inhale up. Exhale from this shape, cactusing the arms. So getting into that chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, right knuckle to the outside of that left leg, opening up through your right arm, or excuse me, your left arm. Squeezing that right butt cheek forward. Big breath in. Exhale. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Then we're going to go ahead and frame that front foot. Another great opportunity to grab blocks if you want to bring the floor closer. We'll find a little half splits here. So shimmy that foot forward, drawing back through that hip. Really finding this nice, strong, long stretch in the back of the hamstring on the left side. Little bend in the knee if needed. Try not to lock out. Tuck the chin and take some big rounds of breath here. Big breath in. Exhale. Nicely done. One more big breath in. And then on that exhale, we're going to start to heel toe ourselves forward. So shift back into this low lunge. And then I'm going to kick my right foot behind me. And I'm going to send my left leg out long. So I'm in this pyramid shape here, or rather gate pose. I'm going to set my hands on the floor and I'm going to send my hips back to my heel. So I've got my hips back to my heel. I've got a little bend and I'm getting into this adductor stretch. Beautiful. Big breath into the inside of that left leg. And one more breath here. Exhale, start to walk it forward. Squeeze the glutes up, arms overhead. Let's find that cactus. Exhale. Inhale, beautiful. A little bit of gentle core, fingertips behind the ear. We're just going to rotate towards the leg, keeping the shoulders stacked. And then we're going to crunch towards the leg. Rotate towards the leg, pulling that belly button in towards the spine, and a little crunch. Good. Belly button pulls in as we rotate that spine. And crunch. Good. Two more. Belly button pulls in, keeping those legs nice and strong, steady where they are. Last one. And crunch. And beautiful. Walking it back. Bring that left, or rather find yourself into your downward facing dog. So right foot steps back to meet the left. Big breath in here. Exhale, start to shift it forward into your plank posture if that feels okay. Otherwise, drop the knees. We're all going to meet there. And we're just going to lower down to our belly. Beautiful. We're going to find a little baby cobra here. So press the tops of the toes into the floor. Bring the hands right underneath the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes. Little lift here. Toes down. Squeezing those shoulder blades. Big breath in. Exhale. And slowly lower down. Nicely done. Pushing up through the knees. Finding that down dog. Beautiful work. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, eyes forward, tiptoe to the top of your mat. Nicely done. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, root to rise. Squeeze the glutes, arm sweep up. Exhale, open the heart, squeeze the butt. So we're really getting into that lifted position. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And again, root to rise. Sweep the arms up. Find that cactus. Again, really opening the chest. And now work the hands all the way behind you. This time, finding opposite thumb on top. And if you're like, I don't remember which one that was, it's the one that feels funky. So opening those shoulders. Again, we can always little space here if that needs to be. Big breath in, feeling those shoulders open, breathing into the chest. One more big breath. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. This time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, up the left foot back, finding our high lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, draw that right hip bone back. Open the heart as you squeeze that left glute forward. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, taking knuckles to the outside, left knuckles to the outside of the right thigh. We open through the right hand this time. Big stretch, keeping your shoulders anchored on top of your hips. Really squeezing that left glute. Big breath. Exhale, sweep the arms up. Inhale, frame that front foot. Draw your hips back. Walk that foot forward a little bit. Find your half splits here. Big breath in. Nicely done. Feeling this hamstring stretch in the back of that right leg. Taking one more big breath here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to kick that left foot behind us, walk our right out to the side. So we're finding gate pose on this side, sending the hips back to our left heel. Again, little bend in that knee is great. Just taking a moment in this shape, breathing into that inner thigh. We don't ever want pain, right? So invite mobility wherever you need it. Turn the toes up, bend the knees, shift forward a little bit. On your next inhale, we're all shifting forward, coming up into that strong gate pose. Inhale, exhale, find that cactus. Open the heart. Good. Inhale, stretch. Fingertips come to those ears. We're going to go for that little bit of core work. So we're going to rotate towards our right leg, staying nice and tall. And then we're just going to crunch down slightly. Feel a stretch in the left side. Good. Belly button in as we rotate. And that little standing crunch. Good. Rotation here, working through that transverse. And then into a little bit of an oblique. Good. Two more. Keep breathing. Staying nice and stable on that left side. And last little bit of work here. Go ahead and plant your hands. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Big breath in here. Exhale, shift it forward through to plank or to your knees or just all the way down to the floor. If you'd like to take chaturanga, you'll lower all the way down here. We're going to do that baby cobra again. So fingers underneath those shoulders. Shoulders roll back, tuck the chin, squeeze the butt. Inhale, exhale, a little lift, driving the hips down into the floor. Good. Exhale, release. Little rock and roll through your hips. Arms go alongside your body. Now that is a perfect place to stay. If you'd like to level up a little bit, we'll find lotus. So we're going to take the hands together, open up the heart, bring the feet together, big squeeze through the heart, little lift, big squeeze through the legs, lifting off the floor. Again, really driving through those toes, lifting through the glutes, or excuse me, rather squeezing through the glutes, lifting the heart, big breath in, and slow release. Nicely done, little shake side to side of the hips. So good. Let's go ahead and find the hands underneath the shoulders, making your way back up to that down dog, maybe through the bent knee, maybe pressing up through to your plank. However you get there, we find that downward facing dog. Big breath in. Inhale, lift the heels, eyes at the top of the mat, tiptoe up and forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, bringing through to prayer pose. We're going to go ahead and start to shift our weight into our left foot. So really ground down to the left foot. Start to lift up through that right. Beautiful. Big breath in here. Perfect place to stay. If you'd like a little bit more, we're going to take left knuckles to the outside of the right thigh, opening up through the right arm. So again, finding this twist that we found from a more stable position, turning on through those stabilizers. Beautiful. Big breath in. Exhale, bring it back to center. Bringing the hands behind you, possibly. Again, all of this is optional. You can also keep it on your hips. Finding this nice open heart position. Little bend in the left leg. You can undo the arms and go ahead and hold on to something if you need. Stepping it back into a high lunge, that feels okay. So nice big space here. Big breath in. Open through the heart. And then maybe heel toe that foot a little open. And if it feels okay, send the hips back and come on down to our humble warrior. Again, we can absolutely skip this. We can come down with our hands on either side and drop our back knee a little bit. Otherwise, we're just going to hold out whatever version we have, either hands behind the back or knee on the floor with our fingertips down. For 3, big breath in. For 2, we're all meeting with the heel, or rather the foot, knee down, framing that left foot, opening the heart. And then draw it back, find your half splits. Big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, start to rebend. Plant the hands, step it back into the down dog. Optional chaturanga, or we can go ahead and take it into our forward fold and tiptoe up to the top of the mat. Otherwise, we shift forward through our plank. Lower down either to that hover or to the floor, finding baby cobra or up dog or some variation that feels good in your body. Eventually meeting back in that downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, eyes forward, tiptoe up to the top of your mat. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up, coming to prayer. We're going to do the same thing. So think of what options you need on this side. We're going to shift our weight to the right side, start to lift up through the left. So just starting with our balance. Perfect place to stay. If you want to build on this balance, we'll take right knuckles to the outside of the left thigh, opening up to that left hand, keeping shoulders down. Again, any variation is fine. If you fall out of it, don't worry. I fall out of it all the time. Just have fun here. Big breath in. Exhale, bringing it back up to center. A great place to stay. If you'd like a little more, hands come behind your back, opposite thumb on top. Again, the one that feels weird. Perfect to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can either undo the arms and hold on to something, or we're a little bend in the right knee, stepping back into that low lunge. Beautiful. Remember, from here, we can take that bottom knee to the floor and just meet with our hands on either side of the right foot if you'd like to make your way there. Otherwise, little heel toe out of the right foot, hinge the hips back, and then bring the shoulder inside of the legs, finding that humble warrior, really opening up to the heart here so we're not collapsing the shoulder. We're all meeting with our knee down in just a moment. Big breath in. Exhale. One more big breath. And then if you're not already there, undo the hands, drop the left knee, and come into that low lunge on the right side. Big breath in. Exhale, start to draw the hips back, flexing through that front foot. Big breath in. Exhale, soften. Inhale, start to walk the hands back, frame that foot, find your down dog. Final chaturanga if you'd like it. Otherwise, just hang out in your down dog or find a forward fold. Inhale, lift the heels, roll forward. Exhale, lower down, elbows into the ribs. Maybe baby cobra, maybe up dog, totally up to you. Wherever you are, we meet back in that downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, eyes straight ahead, tiptoe it up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Coming through prayer, take the feet a little bit wider, turn out slightly at the feet. We're going to go for a slightly wider forward fold. If you'd like, we're going to do it with a bind. So hands can come behind our back, finding that pose. Again, really opening through the heart today. If this doesn't feel great, just go for a standard forward fold. We're going to go palms together, hips go back, little bend in the knees, toes out slightly. Start to take your chest forward again. Arms are optional. If you do have the bind, Keep thinking of lifting up and away from the back so the shoulders are rolling away from your ears and down the spine. Big breath in, letting them fall towards the front of the room. And if you have the bind, release the arms, big sway side to side. However you want to get there, bring the butt down to the floor. Nicely done. Let the legs go long. Beautiful. Taking them nice and wide here. Little windshield wiper of the legs. Woohoo! Nicely done. Gentle little rinse. Good. And then walk it down. Legs go long. Roll it down to your back. Feet walk in. Let's find a little happy baby. So either reaching for the feet or the legs, whatever feels good. Taking a breath. And then dropping the legs. Let's take right ankle on top of left thigh. Perfect to stay here. Otherwise, if you'd like, we can hug that left thigh into the left shoulder. Keep the arms just as an anchor, not yanking here. Opening up through that right hip. Maybe taking some circles through the left ankle if it's off the floor. Both directions. And then gently release the legs here. Bring the knees to 90 and just let them fall gently over to the left. Let's cactus through that right arm. Big breath in. Eyes over to the right. Again, a great opportunity to put a block or pillow under those legs so you're not torquing too much on the spine. Next inhale, use your arms to guide your legs back to that center. Maybe give them a little hug, rock side to side. And then let's drop them down. Left ankle flexes, comes across that right leg, opening through the left hip. Then we reach for the right leg. If we've got the range of motion, you can always leave the right foot down. But if it's up, maybe start finding some circles. Seeing if we've taken tension in the shoulders or face and just softening. Oh, big, relaxing breaths here. Getting that nervous system back into parasympathetic. We did a little bit of heat creation today, so great work. Lower the legs, 90-degree angles, just fall gently over to the right, cactusing through that left arm, anchor down to that left shoulder. As always, no pulling on those legs. You can always drop a pillow underneath them so it's not such a severe twist. Eyes, if it feels okay, go to the left. And then on your next inhale, gently guide the legs back through to center. Let them fall to the floor. Arms are going to stretch up and just give yourself some little circles through the wrists to start. Other direction. And then make little fists, and I want you to rotate all the way down to the shoulder. So arms rotating out and in. Little bit of stretch to the elbow through that shoulder girdle. And then let the arms fall into that final Shavasana. Take up space on your mat. Close down the eyes. Taking a moment just to settle and arrive in this space, seeing how we feel different from when we began this practice today. Letting ourselves travel in a curious way, just scanning the body. As thoughts try to enter our space, and they will, we just call them what they are, thoughts, and we let them pass. There's time enough after this to get to your to-do list. For now, we just sit. Eyes closed, present in our body. Present in our breath, present in our mind, present in our space. Just present. On your next inhale, keeping the eyes closed, start to bring some gentle movement into your fingers and toes, maybe wrists and ankles. Starting to draw your knees up, eyes can remain closed, finding fetal position on either side. That feels good. Just letting yourself support before we transition out of our practice and into whatever lies ahead in our days. Taking one more minute in this busy world to just be with ourselves. Eyes stay closed as we push ourselves up to a gentle seat. Whatever feels comfortable, you can grab a pillow to pop under your hips. Legs can go long. You can find the knees, whatever feels good. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead, drawing through prayer, pausing at that third eye center, that intuition, that space of knowing. Drawing the fingers past the lips, our vessel of communication and advocacy. And pausing at the heart, another place of intuition, but certainly a guide for how we're feeling and what we're needing, and giving yourself permission to pay a little bit more attention to what it needs. Tucking the chin slightly, taking a moment of gratitude for you and your amazing body and for taking time to show up in this container. The light and the teacher in me honors, loves, and appreciates the light and the teacher in you. Namaste. All right, Mobility Sunday. I will see you next time. Until then, take care of your beautiful bodies and minds because you're so stinking worth it. Woohoo!